Grand Rising. Happy Sunday. I come to you from the Keel on this beautiful, beautiful day. And I come to you sharing a couple of lessons that I have learned in the past couple of days, a couple of things that just came full circle. And I want to share them with you because, they were powerful lessons for me. And I think that in my sharing them with you, perhaps maybe it'll give you something to think about. And I'm going to start with lesson number 1. And in saying that, I want to give a shout out right now to my cousin Sabrina Milton from Truro, Nova Scotia, who I had a visit from about a month ago, actually. And she gifted me with just a bunch of gifts. But one of the gifts was a gift card from Canadian Tire. And it just so happened that I was in need of a whippersnipper. So I go and I buy a whippersnipper because they were on sale, and it was just everything chimed out perfectly. Get the whippersnipper, I bring it home, and I see whether it's charged or not. So I go and I take it out of the box and get it all assembled, and then I go and I try to use it. And of course it goes, but it won't keep going. And I'm thinking, okay, what's going on? Maybe we assembled wrong. And I didn't assemble it. It was my nephew that had assembled it. So, I I thought maybe he did, maybe he did something wrong, maybe in the assembling of it. So every time I go to do it, it's go for a little bit and stop, go for a little bit and stop. So then finally I just put it away because I'm thinking, okay, it's got to go back, right? I'm thinking in my mind, out of all the ones that I got, it's faulty. Got to go back. So days go by and I'm looking and I see where I need to whip or snip and whatnot. So anyways, I go and I reach out to my nephew, the one that assembled it. And I tell him the problem that I'm having. And he says, yeah, I'll come and I'll take a look at it. So yesterday afternoon, he comes and dear God, I could hear him. He's out there with it and stops. Well, he stops and he takes a look at things and he says, it's not charged. He said, it's not charged. That was my friend Ivan. It's not charged. He said, well, yeah. He says, I did not realize, folk. I should have looked. It had a battery gauge, which lets you know just how much battery you had left. Now, if I had just looked. So, my whole point being is that I know that one of the things I often don't do is read the friggin' instructions. Had I read the instructions, I would have saw all of that in the instructions. But nope, Hilda doesn't read instructions. So that was a powerful moment. That was lesson number 1. Lesson number 2 was one that was way more powerful because it taught me that the power in speaking your truth and also keeping your boundaries firm. But also, it taught me that we can be tricking ourselves into believing that we are doing something for one reason when really it's for something else. What do I mean? I had a very close friend of mine that I ended up walking away from for my reasons. Basically, it's because we weren't aligned. We were no longer aligned on the same level. And and I could see that, but I had a hard time expressing that to her. And so what I did is I ended up just exiting at one point. Now, of course, there was many conversations that had went on in between that because it wasn't just an exit. But at the same time, you know what? I wasn't protecting my boundaries because each time that my boundary was not respected, I wasn't being authentic. And so my whole point being is I ended up just walking away and not saying why because I felt that I had. But you know, when I did, there was an uneasy feeling always that lay there because I knew that there was a need to have that strong conversation, that truth conversation of how I really was experiencing the experience. And I was afraid. I was afraid to hurt her feelings. And my whole point being is that my removing myself from the situation, because she had reached out many times and I just was silent, and continued to go on. But as I said, you know what, at some point I realized that, you know what was going on is I was running from something. I was fearful of something, and that it was something that had often come up in my life. And that's why, in my past, some of the reasons of which why I stayed in situations that no longer was serving me. My point being is, I end up running into the individual when I was out shopping. And I'm proud of them and kudos to them because you know what? They took that moment to express that, you know what? It was that they felt ghosted and, you know, that they were hurt and many different things. And it was a moment of in which, whoa, also, the very thing that I had been avoiding came right to front. And that was that I had been acting passive aggressively. I wasn't speaking with the full clarity. I hadn't used my throat chakra to its full potential. And that not only was I dishonoring myself, but I also dishonored her. So from that moment, I did reach out and we connected and have since talked things through. And I was able to share from a very truthful aspect just exactly what I felt. And knowing that, you know, and she was able to know that, you know what, is that I love her and I know that she loves me and that we are just in a different space. So my point being is, my lesson that I learned was use my throat chakra, be true to myself, stand 10 toes down, because that is truly why we are here. And that now I can step into fully authentically and knowing that, you know what, I did the right thing. I'm going to leave you on this Sunday, making a great day like I know you are. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe if this message is a message that, you know what, has resonated with you. Make a great day.